Good evening. We want to welcome everyone to the City of Little Rock Board of Directors agenda meeting for April 29th, 2025. This is an opportunity to review the agenda for our formal board meeting that will be held on May the 6th. We'll first have a presentation from our 2025 Spring Residence Academy. Director Kevin Howard. We're getting the mic situated for you.
All right, it's hot now. Thank you again, Mayor, to the board and members of the board, and to our city attorney and city manager. Today it's my great pleasure today to celebrate a meaningful accomplishment. Over the past 5 weeks, each of these residents have dedicated their time, energy, and attention to learning more about our code enforcement division during the Spring Residence Academy. This training wasn't just about codes, regulations, or procedures. It's about becoming more informed citizens, which we call residents now. They ask thoughtful questions, engage in real-world scenarios, and demonstrate the clear commitment to understanding how our local government works to protect the health and quality of life of our community. I want to commend each of the residents that attended for their curiosity and perseverance and your willingness to learn. On behalf of the city and our code enforcement team, we thank you. We are proud of you and grateful to have partners like you in our community. Congratulations to all the residents that completed the training. If you would come up here today.
Let's give them a round of applause.
Mayor, if you want to come down and take a picture with them. We offer, am I still hot? We offer 2 of these classes per year. We do one in the spring and we do one in the fall. Since we started doing it about 2 years ago, it's really helped us out as far as what we teach our residents in the field, so we receive less calls. Our goal is to bring more our neighborhood association presidents to this training. I know some of the neighborhood association meetings, especially the one that I attended with Director Webb, we talked about it. I know some of her constituents in our area has been there, as well as Director Peck. And we also have some with from Director Lewis's ward too that have attended, and Director Miller. And so we definitely appreciate you all for inviting them out. We do send this out to you all. It's on our website. They can fill out this information anytime. We like to get 20 or 30 people in the class. We had a great number of people that attended the first session, and then as we went on, they picked up. And so all of these residents were dedicated to come for 5 weeks on Thursdays to attend this training also and get good information. So we definitely are greatly grateful for them attending, and thank you all for having us tonight.
Take checks.
Come on over.
Thank you. Give on to.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Do anyone of y'all want to share y'all experience or anything? Deborah, congratulations. How much? All right, sir. Appreciate y'all. You want to share yours? Okay. Mayor, she just wants to say a share experience or
I just want to say that I really did enjoy the Residence Academy. There were a lot of things that we learned. We didn't realize there were so many different departments that came out, from the city parks to the firemen, wastewater. We really learned a lot of different things that we just kind of take for granted. even got some things taken care of during the time of the Resident Academy, and they got on top of things immediately. Whichever department came in, we told them what problem we were having at the time, and it was immediately resolved. So we really do appreciate that this was put on. We had about 3 from Forest Hills Neighborhood Association that came out. Well, actually, it was 4. And just in our area. So we know all of the areas had different things that were taken care of, but just in our area, it made a great difference, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We're grateful. All right, members of the board, any questions on the consent agenda? Director Adcock?
Mayor, I've just received from the city manager, some city attorney, a list of what item number 6 is, and I have lots of questions. I also want to know if this is something we're going to do to all of the boards and commissions. If not, why have we selected this one to pass these rules on and not the other ones? So I would like to either pull item number 6 or either keep it separate, please.
Cameron, if you'll share why we had to do this.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't know this was going to come up today, or else I would have worn a jacket. But, this came from the Land Bank Commission themselves. A discussion at the end of last year, I believe it was November or December. And these were the proposed changes that they had. I drafted them up. And they approved them. Like I said, I believe it was the end of last year, very beginning of this year, maybe.
So yes, Director Adcock, this was derived from the Land Bank Commission. They passed it, and it's now we're bringing it towards the city board for the ultimate approval, but the Land Bank Commission is the one who made these changes and was drafted by the city attorney's office.
So a commission can come up with rules and regulations separate from what this board does?
The commission can come up with rules and regulations and bylaws subject to the city board approving it, which is, it's not in effect until you all say yes.
Well, I'm sure the other directors haven't seen this since I just received a copy of it. So I would like to hold it separate so I can make sure that all the board members see this before we vote on it.
Sure thing.
Thank
But
you.
again, I want to make sure we're all aware, it's up to the board to say yes to it, but the Land Bank Commission is who drafted it, city attorney's office approved it, and it's now to the board to say yes. All right.
Director
We'll hold
Adcock,
it.
one question I think Director Adcock is posing is that the bylaws deal with an attendance policy. And of course, the board recently passed an ordinance that would limit attendance to having to be present. The legislation that was recently passed on that by the General Assembly did not apply to boards and commissions, and the ordinance did not apply to boards and commissions. It only applied to the board of directors.
There was an ordinance at the city level, at the state level, or are you talking about the ordinance?
There's a statute at the state level, and there's an ordinance.
Oh, that's right, yeah, you're right. Director Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for those questions. As you know, Director Adcock and I are liaisons on the Land Bank Commission. I've sat on several meetings where this has been discussed. Chairman Lee led a committee, bylaw committee. They've been working on this for a few months. And so I've seen those, but certainly Director Adcock, I'll defer to you on this, but this has been discussed at several of the Land Bank Committee meetings. They went over these in detail, and I've seen them, but I think your point is well made. As the rest of the commission wants to see it, I think that's a great idea. But
Thank you.
I certainly don't have any objections to these, knowing how much work was put into this. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So hopefully, Director Adcock, by next Tuesday, if you're comfortable, we can put it back on consent, but if not, we'll leave it on separate. Any other questions for items 1 through 10? Questions from 11 through 21? Director Wyrick?
Thank you, Mayor. Item 14, that's in Ward 2, and I'd like to hold this separate. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry, let me find it. Item number 13, I would like to hold that separate. That's an appeal to the city board. I'd like to hold that separate. And then there's another one.
It's the date of the hearing.
To set the public hearing.
Okay, set the public hearing.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Well,
So we'll keep it there.
okay, that one's fine. This is the other one. Maybe it's down here in items 22 through 29. It's on Geyer Springs Road.
Are you speaking number 15?
Yes, that's it.
Geyer
number
Springs off
15.
Mableville Cutoff?
Yeah.
You want to hold that separate?
I want to hold that separate. There were a lot of people at the planning commission that were in opposition to it, and I want to hold it separate in anticipation of them coming here to testify.
Right, yes, ma'am.
And I think it shows Ward 7, and it's really Ward 2.
Okay. We'll make that correction.
Okay, thank you.
Director Phillips?
Thank you, Mayor. My question is on number 19 for Brad. I read the write-up and I didn't get a good sense of it. So the building that's on, I guess it's West Markham, the entity that owns that building is converting the existing building to storage.
Yes,
And they're asking for approval to build more storage. Am I understanding?
that is correct, to build more storage.
Okay. And so we've already approved, and I guess I forgot about, but already approved the first one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want them to have clarity on that.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. That's all I had, Mayor.
Director Adcock?
Yes, I think Director Wyrick asked for 15 to be separate.
Yes, ma'am, she did.
Okay, are we going to keep 16 separate also?
If you,
I would like to leave
Ask for it,
16
yes, ma'am.
separate.
All right, Director Peck?
Yes, just a point of clarification on 16, it says it's located in Ward 4, but that's Ward 3.
Making that notation. Director Webb?
Thank you, and one of my comments was the one that Director Peck just made on item, so I just want to make sure
Ward 3.
11, 12, and 16 are separate.
No, 15, 16, 11 and 12 are not separate, but 15 and 16. Would you like 11 and 12 to be separate?
I would like 11 and 12.
those are to set the public hearing.
Yeah.
11 through 13 are appeals to
you.
set the public hearing.
Thank you.
All right, so again, everyone, right now, item 6 is separate, but we believe Director Adcock may have time to get comfortable since the Land Bank Commission has discussed this several times. Hopefully that'll get put on consent, but we'll check and see. And then items 15 and 16 are separate as well. Any questions for items 20? 11 through 13 is to set a public hearing. Separate items, any questions on 22 through 29? Director Webb, is your hand still up?
No, sir.
Director Phillips?
Yes, Mayor, if Mr. Sarpy can give us a brief overview of number 22.
So number 22 is just our year-end budget amendment that we do most years to clean up where expenses exceed what the current budget stands and just getting it all cleaned up and then moving some money around based on direction from departments as well as to fund the data center refresh for IT.
Okay, I will take that. I may have more questions for you next week. I've been trying to digest this. I'm I'm not the financial guy that you are, Mrs. Harper, but I appreciate that, and I'll keep studying, and I may talk to you offline.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Director Miller, Mr. Sharpie.
Why not go over the changes right now? That's what we're here, to go through those items. I mean, I had some of the same questions about what we're moving, who asked for it to be moved. Just take some time.
Sure. So item 1 is just adjusting the revenues based off of actual revenues that were received for the various revenue accounts there.
That's an increase in revenue.
It's a net increase, yes.
Okay, all right.
And then number 2 is adjusting the departmental budgets based off of where the budgets actual expenditures exceeded budget.
Which departments were those?
It would be 911, city attorney, district court, fire, golf, all those that are in the list on table page 4. And so that's a net increase of $3 million.
Members of the board, if you'll recall, we often have different times where we have a fiscal impact, whether it's a fiscal impact throughout the various years when we have to do different budget amendments. This is the same as we would do anything. We're adjusting the cash flows to reflect current nature.
So is it good adjustments? We're adjusting for more money that came in, or adjusting for less money that came in, or what are the adjustments? Just based on what?
It's additional revenues, but also additional expenses above what has been previously approved by the board.
So you're saying study the table and might not have any questions next week?
So, that's what
Nick, hold on. Members of the board, again, we often do budget amendments to reflect the cash flow of what happens. This is not anything different than what you normally do. But when we increase expenses, for instance, there's many times where there's cost overruns from a contractor. That's a new expense. The city board has already agreed to getting something done for said contractor. We also get an increase in our sales tax revenue, and we take that increase in sales tax revenue to pay for anything that you all have already previously approved. That's essential, and it's all walked through these last 4 pages. But we do this routinely. I guess this is maybe the first time this year that we've done it. It's not. I didn't think it's not the first time. But so there's nothing. There's no there.
Yeah, I mean,
we're in the positive. We're in the black. Everything's good. We're not cutting anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. I mean, it's just some study. I mean, as we become more sophisticated with this and be on the board more than 1 or 2 years, then I think that's what we need to get used to, or I need to get. I'm speaking for myself. I want to understand it more, and maybe I just need to look at it more. But of course, we do it every year, but I hadn't been here every year. Just been here for the last 3 years or so. So I'm becoming more and more familiar with how some of the stuff is done. So that means I'll probably have less questions. So that's all this is.
No, you're good.
And so, Nick, let's do this. Just going forward. Even though it's here, send a separate email to the city board just to kind of give them a hit.
And I'll say this corresponds with what you would see on the monthly financial reports that you receive. So the December one, this is tied to that monthly report.
Those reports are hard to read, Nick. Yeah, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No,
But the good thing is, again, what Nick is not saying, let's not get excited at all about any increase in cash flows, of course, because we got an increase in expenses because things cost more than the day we passed our budget. That often happens. That's nothing new from that standpoint. But then secondly is we have to, if you all have been watching the news here in the state, we've been seeing that the state has been lagging behind in their projections. It's all a forecast. And so there may be a time where we have to come back and do the same thing and adjust and figure out adjustments, and we know what adjustments are. I won't even say that 4-letter word, CUTS. So, so we're not there yet. Director Phillips.
And I'll just get to my specific question. I think my board members know where I am on this issue. But as it relates to the sales tax, if I understood the report correctly, the sales tax revenue in 2024 was lower than what we received in 2023. Am I understanding that correctly?
It was lower than budget by about $1 million, yes.
Okay, so.
And that had a lot to do with rebates. So
Uh,
if there weren't as many rebates approved by the state, we would have been right on budget.
Right, but less sales tax money
Correct.
for us to use.
Correct.
Yes, all right, thank you. That's all I had, Mr. Sarpy.
Director Adcock?
Yes. Could we please have a hard copy of this at our desk when we're looking at budgeted items? I noticed that Mr. Carpenter has a hard copy, but if we could have a hard copy also.
We will make sure you have those in the future.
I'd like to have one by next week if possible.
Yep, we'll get that to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nick.
So,
Director
yeah,
Miller?
I'm just reading this. We have $4.4 million increase, but that's been absorbed by increases in expenses. So
Yes, sir.
4.4 increase in revenues, but we've adjusted that to the expenses. And
Yes, sir.
if I can read this, it all makes sense. It all balances out. Right, Nick?
It'll make sense, yes.
Okay. All right.
And if not, you know where to find me.
All right. I know where to find you.
Thank you, Nick. All right. I don't see any more questions on, we got about 7 minutes before we call a special meeting. So what I will do is I'll give some updates that are somewhat financial related, just so board members are aware. Let me see if I can find it. So just as we know, there are a lot of things going on in the federal government right now, particularly as it relates to DOGE. We suspect some things are coming down the pipeline from the federal government. And so one of the things I wanted to share, we have lost our AmeriCorps funding for our AmeriCorps Fellow. And so that position will be not paid for and cut. And so you'll see that in the next month's financials. However, part of that grant funding came from the Bloomberg Foundation and also tied to some portions with the Love Your Block grant increase. And so all of the funding from Bloomberg will still go towards the residents and the neighborhood associations. And so that'll continue. We'll still keep our promises for the residents, but we will not have the staff available that was funded to do that. We'll absorb that with other duties assigned with a team member, most likely in housing and neighborhood programs to get that figured out. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I think you all are aware part of our holistic crime approach to reducing crime, and I want to just give another kudos to Chief Helton and the men and women of Little Rock Police Department because we still stand today with a negative 3 or 4% in violent crime year to date, a negative 12 to 13% in overall crime year to date. And then when you look at it over the past 5 years, it's a negative 15% in violent crime and negative 18% in overall crime. That's a big deal. A lot of that goes to the leadership of the police department and men and women there, work of our PIT, prevention, intervention, treatment, and also we all know all too well that mental health does sometimes show up in episodes of crisis that turn violent. And so that's the reason why we've had somewhere around 4 social work, 4 mental health and social workers been a part of that process. And we received information recently that one of those grants that pay for that comes from the federal U.S. Department of Justice. It has not been cut yet. However, the technical assistance for one of those social workers' services has been halted. So we'll make sure that's aware. And so many cities are beginning to feel some of the brunt of DOGE. We also believe that there may be some other cuts coming from the U.S. Department of Justice that may impact the police department. Clearly, the police department is priority number one for our city, and we're going to always figure out how to pay for things for the police department as well as the fire department and other agencies, but particularly within public safety. But I just want to let everyone know some impact from DOGE from that standpoint. Director Compures, got about 3 minutes before we start our special meeting.
It won't take me 3 minutes. I'd like to compliment, talking about public safety, I was down at the park working earlier this week, and there were 3 policemen, 2 social workers, and 2 parks personnel going through the park, politely helping the homeless people in the park try to find some place to go. And it was a great thing to see everybody out there cooperating, working with the people. Everybody was smiling and happy. There was no feeling that I had no feeling that the people that they were trying to help felt like they were being confronted, and so it was a great way of having a teamwork approach to this problem that I appreciate. So, compliments to the people there.
Thank you so much, Director Compures. We got about 120 seconds, and then we'll start our special call meeting. Well, we sent it out at 2:31. I want to make sure we give the appropriate Freedom of Information Act notice, and we start on time.
Well, Mayor, if we've got 2 minutes, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
IMLA, which is the International Municipal Lawyers Association, because it's the United States and Canada, recognized 2 women city attorneys or city attorney office people this year as a part of the Women's Month recognition in general. One of them is Chief Deputy Lynette Perez from the city of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Congratulations. Sixty seconds. You okay? You okay? Good evening. I want to welcome everyone to our City of Little Rock special call meeting for today, April 29th at 4:31 p.m. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Director Miller. Director Richardson. Director Webb. Director Peck. Director Hines.
Present.
Director Lewis. Director Compures. Director Phillips. Director Adcock. Vice Mayor Wyrick. Mayor Scott.
Present. Director Miller, if you would, please give the invocation.
Would you bow with me for a couple of moments of silence as we invoke today's invocation? We're gathered here to carry out the business of the city. We understand that we may not agree on a lot of things, but we agree that we want our city to be the best that it can be. And so in that spirit, I want to invoke a presence of cooperation between all departments here, our staff, and certainly our residents that we discuss these very important issues that come before us today. Amen.
Amen. May we all please stand for a pledge of allegiance. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the resolution.
You want all the resolutions read together?
And then we're going to do one vote.
Okay. A resolution of intent of the Board of Directors of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas regarding the issuance of bonds for the purpose of assisting in the financing of the acquisition, construction, and equipping of an industrial facility to be located within the city and for other purposes. A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a special warranty deed conveying real property owned by the Little Rock Port Authority, an instrumentality of the City of Little Rock, north of Earl Lane and east of Harper Road in Pulaski County, Arkansas, as more fully described herein and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with Willow Bend Capital LLC for a development project at the Little Rock Port and for other purposes.
All those in favor, please say aye. A motion?
Yeah.
There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, will you please read the ordinance? Item 4, number 4.
An ordinance to amend Section 4 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,508, June 12, 2001.
Madam Clerk, I'm going to take the privilege and group these ordinances.
An ordinance to amend Section 4 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,508, June 12, 2001, concerning franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by Central Arkansas Water and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Section 1 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,615, December 18, 2001, concerning franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by the Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Section 9 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 11,683, December 6, 1965, concerning the franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by Energy Arkansas LLC and for other purposes. First reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to amend Section 4 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,508, June 12, 2001, concerning franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by Central Arkansas Water and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Section 1 of the Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,615, December 18, 2001, concerning franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by the Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Section 9 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 11,683, December 6, 1965, concerning the franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by Energy Arkansas LLC and for other purposes. Second reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Third and final reading.
An ordinance to amend Section 4 of the Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,508, June 12, 2001, concerning franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by Central Arkansas Water and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Section 1 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 18,615, December 18, 2001, concerning franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by the Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Section 9 of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 11,683, December 6, 1965, concerning the franchise fees to be paid to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by Energy Arkansas LLC and for other purposes. Third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had 3 readings. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. First, I want to ask both Jack Thomas and Brian Day, and we have Jay Cheshire, who's here virtually, and our city attorney. Jack and Brian, if you'll just approach. I'm not going to ask you any questions. I just want to take the time just to share my appreciation because it's truly a team effort with our economic development partners represented by the Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce and the Little Rock Port Authority and the leadership of Brian Day, Jay Cheshire and Jack Thomas, but also to our city attorney and their team. There was a lot of work to get us to this point. We can't say much about it except for it's a big deal. It doesn't happen without a great team of these individuals, including the members of the City Board of Directors. It doesn't happen without them. But this is yet another great economic development opportunity as we continue to grow forward in the city. We want to just share our appreciation to Tom, to you and your team, to Jay and Jack and your team at Little Rock Chamber, and to Brian, you and your team at Little Rock Port, and of course to the members of the City of Little Rock Board of Directors. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys can sit down.
Thank you. Mayor,
All right. Oh,
can you add Taylor Marshall and Chef Russell of the Friday Firm? We wouldn't be here
Yes.
without them.
where I don't know, is Taylor? I didn't see Taylor. Come here. Want to make sure. I apologize. I didn't see you back there. Taylor, we want to take our time to share our appreciation to you and the hard work that you put forth as well at the Friday Firm. So, and please send Shep my best, except for his Tar Heel blue. He'll know what I'm talking about.
I'll do it. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Is there a motion to it? Well, Director Phillips? Did you have a question, Director Phillips?
No, it can wait, Mayor, sorry.
All right, motion to adjourn. There's a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.